Hey everyone, it's Hiedi Scott with DiyDreaming, and today I have a craft project for you that is unlike anything I've ever done on this page before. It is something like me because I've fiddled around with this craft a lot in the past. But anyways, I'm going to show you how you can take vintage buttons and turn them into a piece of art for your home. Now, I'm wondering how many of you out there actually inherited a collection of vintage buttons. Maybe your grandmother clipped the buttons off of the clothing that the family couldn't wear anymore and saved them in a mason jar, and you inherited something like that. If you are, oh my gosh, you are so darn lucky, because I did not. But maybe you're someone like me and you fell in love with buttons for some strange reason that you can't explain to your husband or anyone else. Hey Brandy. And you just started a collection. So maybe you're like me. But either way, I want to show you how you can make a Christmas tree piece of art using vintage buttons. And my project, I'm using some painter's drop cloth as my background. Okay, so I'm not actually going to glue them on here while we're talking, but I'm going to give you the whole plan, and then I'll do it off camera and I'll jump back on. Hey Kim, thanks for watching. I'll jump back on and post pictures of what I have at the end. So I love vintage buttons. I especially love vintage buttons that are this mother of pearl. I think they're from like the 30s, the 40s. Some of them are from the 50s. I mean, they were actually made out of, I believe it's oyster shells. I could be wrong. That were harvested and then actually carved into buttons. This one you can tell for sure is a real piece of an oyster shell because of the back of it. So I just love the different colors, the different shapes, the different sizes, and I have like multiple of these little containers all sorted out for my buttons that are different colors. My buttons that are made of silver or metal, and then I have some buttons that are a certain theme. And when we were in Colorado skiing a couple years ago, oh, thanks for sharing, I appreciate that. Or sprinkling, as Facebook would rather we say. When I was in Colorado a few years ago skiing, we happened, or maybe it was in Canada, I can't remember, where this darling little sewing shop was, and they had oodles and oodles and oodles of buttons. So I just put my handful in a big jar full of all these creamy buttons and put them in a sack and paid for them, and then I looked at them when I got home, and oh my gosh, they're so beautiful. Also, you can find them on the cards sometimes that they came on. If you're very, 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 very lucky, you might find something like this at your local thrift store. Okay, but most likely you're going to just be picking them up as you go along, or you're one of those lucky few that inherited them. Okay, so I know you guys have all seen those Christmas tree pieces of art that people make using their grandmother or aunts or whatever, their costume jewelry. They're flashy, they have bright colors. A lot of times they're done on a black velvet canvas and framed in gold. Well, I love that idea, but honestly, that is not my style. So I could do this project that I'm doing today using some of my more colorful buttons, but I want it to be something that will fit in with the ambiance of my home. And if you look around, I don't have a lot of super bright flashy colors. I'm more of a black and white and neutral, a lot of neutral kind of girl. So what I did is I had this beautiful frame, and I took the glass and the back out of it, and then I traced the back on a piece of cardboard and cut that out. And then I stole some of that soft white batting out of our Dickens Village Christmas house boxes because I didn't want to go to the sewing store and buy some. And I cut a piece exactly the size of the inside of my frame, and I glued it in the top corners. And then I just took my painter's drop cloth, which has been washed and ironed, so it's very nice, and I glued it around the back. Let me see if I can. You know what? I just need to take these buttons off here so I can show you. These are the ones that I've settled on using, and then I'll probably add a few more. Whoops. Let me do that. Let me show you. Okay, so this is what was in this frame originally. I traced this on a piece of thin cardboard, and then I glued a little bit of that batting to the front of it and just glued my painter's drop cloth on it. And I sort of tried to do it, those hospital corners or whatever you call that, gift wrapping corners on the sides. And then I'm just tucking it back in. I'm not using the glass because that won't work. So I'll put this piece back in here, and if I'm sick of this project in a year or two, I can just take that piece of cardboard out and I can put something back in this beautiful frame and use it for something different. But that's what the background looks like. Now I'm debating whether, and tell me what you guys think, okay? I would really love to know. I'm debating whether I should do a traditional tree shape in the center and then use some of these little square shaped buttons at the bottom for the base of the tree. What do you guys think about that? Or I'm kind of thinking maybe it would be cool to do a big tree and do it off center. I don't know. I would love to know what you guys think. So if you have an opinion, tell me in the comments. Hey, and if you're watching and you want to say hello and give me a thumbs up or a heart or something, or tell me where you're watching from, I would love that. I am in dreary Atlanta suburbs. I'm north of the city. Today it's overcast and suddenly it's winter time, which it's Atlanta winter time. It's 41 degrees and the wind is blowing, so it feels very chilly as opposed to the 65, almost 70 degree weather we've had for the last week. So anyways, this is what it's gonna be. I'm gonna take my hot glue gun and just start with the bigger buttons on the shape of my tree, and then I will fill in the spaces with the little buttons. Okay, so that's what this project's gonna be, but while I have your attention, I wanna show you a fun project that I did maybe 3 years ago when I first started collecting buttons. I made vintage button bracelets. Let me come close so you can see. This one is my favorite. It's all these beautiful green, different colored buttons, and then a lot of these brassy cutouts. They have sort of a mirror type look on the back of them. And then my most precious button is this one, which I don't know where that came from. And I love this little one too. But anyways, I just made a bracelet. I absolutely love it. But every time I wear it, it's so noisy. It drives me crazy. So I can't wear it when I'm out going somewhere that I'm gonna disturb other people. So this is my favorite one. I made a whole bunch of them. This is my second favorite one. And this is again sort of a brass color. And I made this using these beautiful orange buttons and more of this brassy or coppery colored metallic looking buttons with some little pieces of turquoise in there. Anyways, I love that one too, but I love this one the best. So that's really all I have to tell you right now. I hope that you like the idea that I'm branching out and not just doing projects that involve painting and stenciling. I would like this page, DIY Dreaming, to be a little broader. I still want it to be projects that are quick, because I have a short attention span, Easy, they don't require 10 million different ingredients. Affordable, this is drop cloth and a recycled frame. Sometimes kind of unusual, and maybe this would qualify as that. And did I say super affordable? Oh, and that require absolutely no artistic abilities. And I also want this page to keep being a page where I focus on projects that are more of the black or white or neutral. But let me know what you think about me pushing the boundaries of this page outside of just painting and stenciling and creating signs and tea towels and that kind of thing. I would love to have your input. So until I see you again, which might be later today, I will be DIY dreaming up more ideas to share with you very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.